Hi, I'm Steve Caliper. Thank you so much for joining today on behalf of our Doing Good Better University. We're grateful that you joined in. Today's session that I want to share with you is really on the art of the story and finding the distinctive elements of your story that's uniquely different from your program, your strategy, the impact, and really what would be either fruitfulness or the outcome of what it is that you're doing. And that impact can be either locally through the lives of women and kids or families, marriages, or it could be overseas, whether it be creating a freshwater solution and the deployment of water, sanitation, could certainly be orphan care, could be a number of different things. But what we want to make sure that I'm able to share with you today is how the art of the story is relevant in the process and the journey of your relationship with either current donors and supporters or prospective. So it's finding the distinctive elements of who you are and what you do, and really why you're doing it. And this is a continuation of last week's or last session's discussion. So in finding the distinctiveness, it's making sure that we're able to help unpack what separates and makes you uniquely different from anyone else. So let me kind of start with this little story, and then I'll backfill with a couple of thoughts. I'm on the committee, fundraising committee for the school that my kids attend. And a couple of years back, we looked at enrollment and the decision process that parents were going through. So the conversation that I kind of stirred up was, tell us a little bit about what is leading to parents at least benchmarking the difference between other school options and where our kids go to school. So really what it came down to was academics, sports, faculty, the environment, drive time distance. Those were all the apples. It's comparing apples to apples in the situation of leading and journeying someone to make a decision on behalf of their family and their kids and where they want to go to school. So I think you get that. So the question that I had was, I think it's great that we can compare apples to apples, but in finding the narrative or the distinctive characteristics about what we do as an organization, just like what you uniquely do in your organization, is to look at what do we do that's different? Because the objective and the goal is to get people to engage. And so we're wanting to engage on behalf of our organizations, people to either go deeper in their financial support or for new potential supporters to join the journey and to come on board and to be involved and move from a donor to a champion. So the narrative of the story has not got to just be something that can grab them, but it also has to be transferable, that they can share. So let me go back to the school scenario. So what we started to look at was how many kids in a percentage not just graduate and go to college, but what are the number of kids from a percentage that not just go to college, but also graduate college? In what professions or business ownership opportunities or in joining the missions field, what's the narrative to the overall school story based on the fruitfulness of the outcomes? So what we started to see was not just was there an incredibly high percentage of kids that went to college, but there was also a very high percentage of kids that went to college and also graduated. We also looked at the character of the school environment and how kids were being raised up, that we saw a very high successful marriage rate and also a high level of professional outcome rate. So the point of it is we often see the narrative and the story as apples to apples. So be looking at your organization and what can distinguish yourself differently, whether it be from other organizations in general, or what can distinguish yourself from other organizations kind of in your same space. We want to, for all intents and purposes, I'd like to encourage you to look at your story and the art of telling the story to move a supporter from a donor or prospect to really being a champion so that they can look at your organization as not just what you're doing, but really what we're doing. So in a sense, the objective and the goal here in the storytelling is to become the orange in the basket of apples. If it's a basket of apples, that's the common benchmark. Separate yourself. Tell a unique or different story that has this is who we are and what we're doing and why we're doing it, but look at where do you want to be in 18, 24 months from now that uniquely separates yourself from other people, either in the field or just in organizations overall. So we're certainly excited because the art of telling the story also then transitions to the art of the ask, which is certainly important. So when you do that in your narrative, when you do that being the story, moving someone to really grasping the art of it, is that somebody's going to lean in, or in a conversation or a setting, they're going to say, Steve, this is amazing. And really now what we want to know is, what do you need? See, that's the art of the ask, is moving the person that's listening or in the conversation to saying, I'm impressed. This is phenomenal. I'm blown away, whatever it happens to be, or I'm impressed. But what is it that you really need to advance the mission of your organization? And then for us, now often this does happen where we go to the comfort zone, which is, well, we would love to just have you pray for where you'd like to be involved and how you'd like to be supportive, etc. But what I'm suggesting and challenge you on is look at specifically what are your key distinctive uniquenesses to your initiatives, your programs, and what it is that you really feel called to do and accomplish and achieve over that same period, 12, 18, 24 months, and lay out, this is the proposed outcome. We believe that based on past results, this will be the outcome of these initiatives. This is what we need. These are the obstacles. These are the goals and challenges, and lay out the number, the dollar number of what it is that you need to put into place to advance your initiative or your key program. So with that, today's session on behalf of the Doing Good Better University is really the narrative and the uniqueness to your story. And then undergirding with that is the uniqueness to moving someone to the ask. Being prepared and be thinking about what it is that we're wanting someone to engage. And let me also frame it this way with regard to the ask. Is when we lay out our initiatives, start to take away from your mind the idea of a dollar amount. Just frankly put out the initiative or initiatives with the amounts. A little family motto that we have is, we do our best and let God do the rest. So if we're clear on what it is that we're presenting, our story, the narrative, and we're laying out the initiatives, don't refrain to holding back on an amount. Just put the amount out there. 2 weeks ago, I was in a meeting with a gentleman, great organization. He was going into the meeting with a certain dollar amount. We actually went through this entire process, laid it out. The couple that we were with kind of leaned in and got really excited about a particular initiative. And when they asked the question, what is it that you really need? We laid out three things that we really needed to advance that initiative, including the entire dollar amount for the initiative for the whole year. And they didn't even blink. They said, that's awesome, we're in. And they went to more of the questions that we needed answered that were holding us back. So the point is that dollar amount that we had in mind was way less than the initiative, and it didn't even faze them. So we do our best, which is to be clear, tell our story, be articulate, know what it is that we're wanting to accomplish and achieve over a certain time frame, whatever that is, and then just be bold to lay it out. Because our job is to make sure that we're bringing people into the story so that they really feel like the story is their story. And so anyway, on behalf of Doing Good Better and our university and this platform to really partner and to assist and serve you in building the elements of your organization and your ministry to be able to communicate more succinctly with a distinction to donors or prospective donors, whether it be individuals, corporations, foundations, whatever it is. We want to be here for you. We want to assist and serve you, because my personal life mission is to assist and serve 1,000 organizations and families to see $1 billion deployed for the kingdom. And on behalf of myself and my team, we're excited to be a part of the journey. Thank you for being a part of our Doing Good Better University. And have a great day. Thank you so much, and God bless.